Hi everybody, I am back for another quick tip video. I am coming to you from a new account in a new server, so shout out to K615. And this video is going to be about guard skill bonds, especially if you're in a new server or if you're a new player. Setting up your guards for your marches is a major part of this game. So I'm not going to go through all of the guard skill bonds, but I am going to go over a few that I like to use just so you get the idea. So first we're going to go and open up my formations here. Now keep in mind what you see on these guard skill levels and these troop amounts are going to be low because of it being a new account, but this is about the guard skill bonds. So I'm going to pull up a couple purple here and we're going to talk about, and I'm going to pull up a couple gold that we're going to talk about. First of all, two purple guards that I like to use mostly for distance march. Now when I mean distance march, I'm going to do 100% distance, and I'm going to pick these two particular guards, and you're going to want to set these two distance guards up in this order because they're going to complement each other by their guard skill bonds. Now when I say bonds, I'm going to show you what I mean. So if we tap on our skill right down here in the left hand corner, it's going to pop up all your guard skills. Now we're just going to skip down to about right here where it says 50% chance. When triggered, there is a 50% chance of causing a bruising effect. Key word there, bruising effect. This is a bruising effect guard. When causing this bruising effect, enemy troops deal continuous damage for up to 2 rounds. Not only is that effect good for this guard, but it also complements our secondary guard and triggers its effect. So if we click on our secondary guard, which is here, and we tap on this skill down here at the bottom box, and we skip down just a little bit here, it says if the enemy troops are under a bruising effect, additional damage will be dealt. You hear that? If they're under a bruising effect, which was caused by our first guard, activated the bruising effect, it initially boosted the distant damage over 10%. And any boost in damage that's over 10% is very good. So these two guards complement each other because they have the same guard skill bond. They're bonded together by their guard skill. One complements the other. So I like to use these two purple guards in attack marches with all distance, whether it be attacking the wolf or attacking other players, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to get into too many details about what I use them exactly for, because the idea is we're talking about the guard skill bonds. So these two are great. So keep these two in mind, especially if you're in a newer account, because it's much easier to level up these purple guards than gold. So these two are distance, as you can see up here in the left hand corner. Distance, distance. Let's go to another one. Okay, let's move on to the next two sets of guard skill levels that are bonded. And these are two gold guards. These are really good guards. And these are going to be for a full cavalry march. Mainly going to be used for attack. So let's check out their bonds. You're going to want to set them up just like this, 1 and 2. And if we click right down here, we can see what the effect is. So if we read down just a little bit, it says your troops have a 40% chance of causing a bleeding effect to enemy troops each round. The key word being bleeding effect. So this bleeding effect, when triggered, will complement our secondary guard and trigger his ability. So let's pull up his ability. We're going to give it a click. Oop, not there. There we go. And not only is this guard really great because of its 65% chance of dealing damage each round. But when under that bleeding effect caused by our first guard, triggers a additional effect in this guard. And it says right here, if your enemy troops are under a bleeding effect, it will have a deterrent effect on the enemy guard, who will be prohibited from using active skills for 2 rounds. So when our first guard bleeding effect activates our secondary guard's deterrent effect, which means is one of your attacker's guards or attackee guards that you're attacking will be deactivated. Means their guard skills will not come into play for 2 rounds. So not only will your bleeding effect last for 2 rounds, it will activate his deterrent effect for 2 rounds, making their guards worthless for a couple hits. This is really great for, like I said, an all cavalry march. Alright, we're going to look at our next set here. And this setup is really great because it can be used in a variety of ways. Not only for attack, but also defense. Because we're going to be using distance and cavalry. Now, when I mean attack and defense, this is the setup I like to use for special events. These also the 2 guards that I put on my wall at the time being, for the time being. But these are great for KVK if you're in a tower and you're defending, or if you're UAC and you're attacking a tower and you want to leave those guards in that march in that tower to also defend. So this is kind of a 50-50 setup. So we got guard number 1. We're going to click this skill here and check out these 2 guards. Guard skill bond. And it says right here that this is a bleeding effect. When triggered, there is a 50% chance of causing a bleeding effect to enemy troops that lasting for 2 rounds. And there's that key word there, bleeding effect, which activates the guard bond in our second guard for the cavalry. So we're going to give it a click. And right down here, when your enemy troops are under a bleeding effect, it will activate a deterrent effect to the enemy guards, lasting for 2 rounds. So you're double dipping here. You're getting an attack effect from the bleeding effect here, and you're getting a defensive effect here from your secondary guards deterrent effect. So that's why I call it kind of like a 50-50. It's not 100% attack, it's not 100% defense, it's a little bit of both, and this setup can be used in attacking and defending and using for special events like UAC and KVK or whatever the case may be. But to all new players out there, new kingdoms, you're just going to need to go through all your guards and find the guard skill bonds. Just make sure you set them up right. I didn't talk about this earlier, but now this is just a theory. Each guard, if we pull up here, is going to have, we're going to click right over here, the attributes. Now you're going to want 100%, well, 90 to 100% in the recommended, because it's going to boost those bonds and skill levels. But you need to make sure that your lead guard speed is greater than your secondary guard speed. See, actually I have 2 points in this guard speed right here and not all of them into agility, because I want this guard skill level, this guard skill to be activated first. I want that bleeding effect to come into play first to activate my secondary guard. So just keep that in mind when you're leveling these up, is to check their bonds and check their attributes, and just make sure that your lead guard speed is just a little bit higher than your secondary guard speed. Alright everybody, I'm going to try to keep this short. I just wanted to throw this out there to get the ball rolling for you new players, or for you older players in new kingdoms. These setups work. They work good. So go check your guards. Go find those guard skill bonds. Set up your marches. I'm Royal Blood. Remember to like, subscribe, get your game on. Right now I'm coming to you from server K615.